Pre-algebra lesson 86. Having troubles with my chair today. There we go. Pre-algebra lesson 86, algebraic phrases. So, I did a lot of recording yesterday. I think I recorded about, I don't know, maybe 10 or 15 videos. And the very first video I recorded, I was talking about how I had a new software I was using for my camera, and how I could now do this cool zoom function on the camera that I haven't been using. It's this one, right, where I can zoom in and out. And that was also the first video where you guys saw that big white bar at the bottom of the screen that said type something here. So today is the next day, and I've realized that this new software had a little text thing on the bottom that was automatically on there, but now it's gone, and it will be gone forever. Don't need to message me about it, but it's probably too late for that since it's been a couple of weeks since you guys have been seeing that white bar. Anyways, let's get on with the lesson, and yeah, oops. Algebraic phrases. So, algebraic phrases are how we can write mathematical expressions that involve variables from words. And if you remember our lesson on Al-Khwarizmi back in his time when he was inventing algebra, he did math in paragraphs. And it's very useful to have this skill because then you can apply math to real life scenarios. And we'll be using this a lot in word problems. So let's talk about algebraic phrases. They've got this cool little chart here that breaks down how they work for you on page 269 and 270, right? So instead of going through that whole chart, I'm going to go through a few examples, and let's find a system we can use to do this all the time, or recreate this. So, if you remember in previous math courses, there's been a lot of attention to words like sum, difference, product. Let's go ahead and mark these. We'll make, sum will be green, because, adding is good. Difference, will make that red, because subtraction is sad. And product will be blue, because, why not? Okay, so we should know that the word sum means it's an addition problem. Difference means it's a subtraction problem. And actually, now that I think about it, since we're into the pre-algebra, I don't know if you'll see the word difference very often. And it might say sum most of the time. And then product is just a multiplication, or the answer to a multiplication problem. So, what we're going to do whenever we have to rewrite these as numbers is if we see one of these magic words like sum, difference, product, or even quotient, but I think that's a different lesson. Yeah, that's a different lesson. We'll learn quotient later. But if we see sum, difference, or product, we immediately need to know that this sentence is going to be creating a set of parentheses between two numbers, because you cannot have the sum of only one number. You need two numbers involved. Maybe there might be more than two, but for all of our examples in this textbook, there will only be two numbers. Right? So we're going to set up a set of parentheses, and then we're going to put, wait, let me use my zoom function. I was about to put the camera all close up into the page. Haha! So we're going to set it as parentheses because of the word sum, and we'll put a plus sign right in the middle because sum is addition. Now the question is, what numbers do I put where? Well, that's very easy. Immediately after the word sum, we're going to list the two parts of your addition problem, and the word and will always be right in the middle. See, there's the and, right? The conjunction that joins the addition, right? So once we've got our conjunction that joins the addition, we got to figure out what numbers are going in here, right? So that's going to be the nouns immediately before and immediately after the conjunction. Now notice I'm using a lot of grammar speak like conjunction, nouns. Yeah, that's important. It makes a difference when we're doing word problems. So the noun before is -5, and that's going to go in the first spot right here of our parentheses. The second noun is number. Now, this is where we're going to put our variables in. I don't know what number that is. They're just saying a number. I mean, you don't tell me which one. So whenever we're faced with that scenario, we'll put a letter. Your textbook commonly uses the letter N. I typically go with the letter X because that's what everyone is usually more comfortable with. You can use N if you'd like. You can use whatever letter you'd like, honestly, for a variable. But X and N are the most common types that are used for these problems. And now I have actually written the sum of -5 and a number. It's just an addition problem saying -5 plus X. Okay. Now let's do the same thing with difference. So this rule stands the same. Whenever we see one of these three magic words, sum, difference, product, we're immediately going to set up a parenthesis. We're going to put the symbol in the middle of the parenthesis, and then what's going to follow is two nouns in between a conjunction, and those nouns will be the left and right sides of whatever that operation is, sum, difference, or product. So let's do the same thing with difference. So I see the word difference. I'm immediately going to put parentheses. I'll put a minus sign right in the middle. Now I look for the conjunction. Let's see, difference of, and there we go, difference of blank and blank. So now let's find the nouns. The nouns are number, that's the first one, so I'll use n this time. And then the next one is 12. Okay, n minus 12. Ta-da, I did it. Let's do the same thing with product. Product, I see, I'm going to put a blue set of parentheses, and your book actually shows you a different way to do product, but I'm going to show the same consistent way, and as you guys do more and more of these problems, you might find faster ways to do these, but there is a much faster way to do product. But if you're struggling and having trouble with this, we'll do it this way, okay? Because this way is consistent, and consistency is key when you're learning difficult new concepts, right? All right, so we'll do product, circle the word and, right? That's our conjunction, and then our two nouns. Oh, whoops, I never finished writing product. I need to put my little multiplication dot. Okay. And let's see, let's find our nouns. That's number, so I guess I'll use C this time. That's a variable. And -7, so C times -7. Now, the last thing you want to do under multiplication problems, we'll add an extra step at the end, is simplify this, right? So these ones I can't really simplify very much. The top one I could rewrite as x minus 5, but it doesn't matter too much because we're learning about algebraic addition. But this bottom one, c times -7, well, that's just going to equal -7c. And that would be my final answer. So if you're doing product, make sure you see if it's possible to simplify that product, okay? Because we have ways of doing products with different terms, but we don't have a way to do addition or subtraction with different terms. These numbers never going to combine. Now, let's do a difficult version of this problem. Let's zoom out just a tinge, just a little bit. Okay, so we've got multiple things going on here. We have the product of -3 and the sum of a number in -3. Whoa. So let's gravitate towards those magic words. We see two of our magic words in here. We have product and we have sum, okay? So whenever this happens, you just have to do one at a time, and then you'll see how they work together. So I'm going to start with product. Product, I know, means I do parentheses, right? And inside the parentheses, I'm going to put a multiplication sign in the middle, okay? Now, I'm going to look for my first conjunction. So it's the product of, there it is, okay? Now I go to the nouns on either end. All right, so the first noun is -3, so I go ahead and put -3 there. Now the second noun is sum. Okay, so this is where we kind of start doing things with multiple sets of parentheses. So I'm not just going to write the word sum here. That wouldn't work. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go up here. I'm going to use my sum rule, right? Because the rule was whenever I found sum, I do a set of parentheses. So guess what I'm going to put in here? I'm going to put in a smaller set of parentheses, right? And then inside of those, I'm going to have a plus sign. So it's the same rule, but being put inside of the other rule, okay? And now, since I've got that in there, now I do the same thing. I go find the next conjunction being and, and then I'm going to look for my nouns, which are number, okay? So number is going to be, we'll just go with x this time, and -3. So x plus -3. There we go. And then let's see if I can rewrite this a little bit simpler, right? So my final answer, let's see here, I could just write -3 in front of those parentheses. So I could write -3 parentheses, and then I could put x minus 3, and that could be my final answer. Right? Now you could leave it as x plus -3, same thing, but this is a better way to clean it up and write it a little bit simpler. That's it for this lesson. If you guys have any questions, let me know on the school website, and I'll see you in class.